What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Arrowverse crossover. So if you're new to the channel, a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video at the end is super appreciated. So it is not that long really until we get the crossover. It's really only next month do we get this 4-night, well, not even 4 nights now, it is a 4-episode crossover, which will feature with, we've got Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. They're being put together closely, so it will be 2 episodes on the Monday and 2 episodes over on the Tuesday, where we'll get the shows back on in a crossover form. So if you remember last season, we did have the threat of the Dominators. So the Dominators were the ones who invaded Earth, and then the Flash and Cisco had to go over to Supergirl's Earth and get her to stop these Dominators in what was one of the best parts of TV, in my opinion, last year. So it was a lot of fun, and it was a great way to go on a hiatus over Christmas, which I'll never understand why they have hiatuses over Christmas. I just don't get it. I'm too used to British seasons where you get 6 episodes and that's it. You might get another season of the show, you never actually know. But they are coming back with an Earth X crossover, which is something, to be honest, I didn't really expect. It was a bit out of the left field, but it does kind of make sense when you think about it, because they have got the Earth X cartoon. They've got the Earth X cartoon. That is with the Ray and the Freedom Fighters, who are a very old school DC fighting force, and the Ray is currently in the Justice League of America comic book at the moment. You heard that right, the Justice League of America, because you've got the Justice League and you've got the Justice League of America, just to confuse things. I think they're going the Marvel way. They want to have the uncanny, the extraordinary, the God knows what X-Men for some reason, and Avengers as well. So they have to have multiples of the teams of the same names. Don't know why they can't just have different names, I don't know. Weird. But we got that coming over, and this will feature the Ray. And the Ray will be coming over possibly from Earth X, as the Earth X characters will invade our Earth 1. So this is a world where the Nazis won, and we've got Nazi versions of the Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. And this crossover will be featuring 2 weddings. We will be having the Flash wedding and the Olicity wedding. For some reason, they're deciding to go down that route and force feed us Olicity, even though we don't really want it. I like Iris West and Barry Allen, but then again, I don't really want a wedding. But obviously, a wedding is always a huge thing in TV shows, of course, isn't it? But the wedding will actually be interrupted by Overgirl, who is the Nazi version of Supergirl. Now, I don't know how much they will be using the Nazi thing here, because it is a very divisive subject. Some people not liking Nazis to ever be featured in media ever again. Just look at the controversy around the new Wolfenstein game. People are like, well, we shouldn't be having them in these games, but you know what? They have been featured throughout history in media, and it was all a ploy to actually make the Nazis look stupid, and hopefully it never happened ever again. That's a little bit of history for you there, people. History is one of my specialist subjects outside of cult media. So one thing about this crossover is curious, to say the least. Now, we had the poster come up and it looks stunning, but there are 2 versions of the Green Arrow at first glance. There is one who is actually featured in it, and who could that actually be? That is, of course, the evil version of the Green Arrow. That is what is featured in the cartoon as well, which is voiced by Stephen Amell, and all of these actors voice their evil compatriots in the cartoon. So it's quite cool there that we're going to be getting that. And what is even weirder is that we're going to be getting Prometheus back. So it's been confirmed that Prometheus will be returning to the CW in some way, shape, or form. So how is Prometheus going to return? He is dead. Oh yeah, maybe he could be over on Earth X, but it's not going to be Josh Segarra who will be voicing this whatsoever, or even playing the role, which is a real shame, because Josh Segarra was one of the standout parts of the last season of Arrow, and I think it was a mistake to actually kill him off, albeit Sarah Lance, Laurel Lance, and even the Green Arrow himself has almost come back from death. So death does not really matter one bit in the Arrowverse, does it? So what is curious is who will actually be playing Prometheus. Well, that is possibly going to be Colin Donnell. Colin Donnell, who you will remember as Tommy Merlin, who was in the first season of Arrow, and who many people expected to be Prometheus, and who many people expected also to be the Vigilante, which we will find out the identity of the Vigilante, but it's probably Captain Pike, isn't it? But here, what is even weirder is the fact that he has actually been name-dropped in an autograph hunter's library of Instagram, and they have an autograph of him. And he was, as it says here, Colin Donnell, when he was in Vancouver for the Arrow crossover. Now, many people did expect him to be in the 100th episode of Arrow, but he was not. He still remains a firm fan favourite, but it does look like, to me, he could be playing Prometheus here. And, well, you're saying to me, how could you have an evil Tommy Merlin? Well, no, what I think would be interesting is if we had a good version of Prometheus taking on an evil version of Green Arrow. However, the problem with this theory for me is that if you look at the poster on the left, you can see all the good guys and you can see the Ray on the left as well. But if you look on the right, you have the evil version of the Flash, you have Overgirl, and you have also got the Green Arrow. So the problem there is that if you look at the balancing, it wouldn't look quite right. And you could say maybe they put him on the right to balance it, but if you look on the left, it is incredibly imbalanced or unbalanced, whatever the correct term actually is. So while I think he's playing Prometheus, it's still up in the air as to whether Prometheus would be a good guy or a bad guy. I think, interestingly, having him as a bad guy, or sorry, a good guy, and actually taking on Green Arrow on this Earth and being an ally of Ray would be pretty darn cool. But the balance in there on the poster looks a bit off. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Prometheus will be good or bad? Obviously, he was really, really bad, wasn't he, in Arrow? So having him as a good guy may be even just a bit too jarring, but then again, having him as a different actor is even more jarring. And now, there is also on Stephen Amell's Twitter, there is an image which looks to be like it is inside of Star Labs. If you remember, it looks like one of the meta containment facilities that they have in there, which seem to be so easily to actually escape from. So, yeah, we've got that, and it has obviously been completely blanked out, hasn't it? Which they don't want to, reveal anything too soon, despite a hell of a lot of behind-the-scenes images. But you can clearly see here that it does actually look to be a Prometheus outfit. If you look on the bottom right, it seems to have the same sleeve as Prometheus. So, yeah, that is pretty crazy to think there. And could this be Prometheus? I think it'd be an interesting way, and it really would be not... It wouldn't be such a big thing if it was Josh Segarra, but if it was Tommy Merlin as Prometheus, and he was taken prisoner by the team, by the Arrowverse group, well, that would be something to see in an interesting interview. So you've got a Black Siren, you've got a Laurel Lance doppelganger, and now you've also got a Tommy Merlin doppelganger as well. So it just looks like poor old Oliver Queen just keeps having blasts from his pasts. Well, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.